Hello, my creative collective. This is your daily creative reading for April 19th. Let's dive in, shall we? Let's do this. So, I would like to start by inviting the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, let's do this, shall we? So I'm going to pull from the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle by Kelly Sullivan Walden. The artwork is by Rasuli, and I happen to love this deck. Be the bridge. Expand your consciousness to behold both worlds. Beautiful. Be the bridge. I'm getting some major consciousness raising vibes this week happening. My daily creatives. For this you were born. Foster your intention for incarnating in this dimension. For this you were born. I almost feel like you might be waking up to additional facets of your purpose, things that you feel like, when you find something and you do it. Like for me, it was spiritual guidance and tarot. And when I was much younger, I was, reading the likes of Wayne Dyer and Abraham Hicks and Louise Hay. And it's like when I started to write, my experiences and story tell in ways that I hoped were healing to others, that to me, I was just like, this is it. This kind of spiritual healing and this work is it for me. That was everything. So it's like when you find that thing, right? I tell that story to say when you find that thing, it's like your life not only makes sense in a way, but also you just realize you're like, this is what I was put here to do. So I hope that you end up finding that this week, my daily creatives. That's such a beautiful feeling. So attune to the call, tune in and turn on. For this you were born, attune to the call. So I guess a little bit of paying attention to and heeding some intuition will be necessary. It'll be a necessary process for you to undertake along the way. And I'm using the Muse Tarot for this spread. Let me just move this back a bit there. Spirit, can I get some messages for my hero's journey for my daily creatives for April 19th, please? And also, happy Taurus season. We're kicking off Taurus season. We are in Taurus season as of today. So, my daily creatives, if you're Taurus, if you're a Taurian, happy birthday season. Got some cards falling out here. I'll put all of these in the one. So we have Temperance, Two of Pentacles, and Knight of Pentacles. What is it, like this? Yes. Okay. All right. Four of Swords. Eight of Cups. The Sun. Ooh, beautiful. The Lovers. Eight of Pentacles. And we're ending off today with the World. Cosmos. So the World. So a definite... I'm thinking of a book title I read recently called Around the Day in 80 Worlds. So it's almost, this is getting super meta. But I think about that in the context of this be the bridge and raising consciousness. So I'm almost getting that there's like multiple worlds, like this parallel universes that might exist alongside you and what those would look like, right? And being open to the stories that you're telling yourself and how they bring you into or throw you out of balance. Temperance and Two of Pentacles. And I almost get this Knight as your energy embodied, and it's slower moving. I think I'm almost getting that it's slower moving than what you want. Like you may be used to being in this Eight of Pentacles energy that's like all over, like you're all over it. 444 was just on the time. Like you're all over it in the sense that you're balancing all of these things beautifully. You're able to handle a lot and you're used to being this taskmaster, right? But you're a Knight of Pentacles, which isn't bad. It's still great energy. It's still forward moving energy, but I'm getting that it's perhaps a little bit slower, and it's maybe making you doubt whether or not this is something that is inclined towards your happiness, right? There could be something that you're taking time to process. There could be some things that you're really taking time to understand. The reason why I go towards the understanding is the Four of Swords is here, which tends to mean healing and rest, but it also means clarity that you're getting to through the process. And the Eight of Cups here, big eclipse energies on this one. So it could be that there's something to do with the partial solar eclipse in Taurus on April 30th, that this is connected to this process, this slow moving. Things might pick up for you after this eclipse on the 30th. The energies might move slightly faster for you in that time. But I think that at the end of the day, you have to remember that this is moving towards your sun. And I think the reason that this is in the position that it's in this spread is because you're doubting this. You're doubting this. And I think the Nine of Swords is here to say that that's the biggest thing that you're going to have to move through today is your self-doubt. And this is the choice, right? The Lover's card is love coming in, but it's also choices. It's the original choice card in the tarot. And I think, or it was originally a choice card. And I think that this is really the choice that you have to make is, are you going to be so caught up in your head and let anxiety get the best of you? Or are you going to make grounded offers for yourself grounded offers for yourself, meaning are you going to do and put in the work for yourself and not just for yourself in service to you? But I think that this is something that you were born to do. This is a gift that you have to share with all of us, right? This is something that you have to give to every single one of us here. And I think first you have to be the bridge to that, right? You have to let yourself be the bridge, and that slow moving Knight of Pentacles energy and the Two of Pentacles, there is a purpose as to why this has been taking so long, why this journey has taken so long. The Eight of Cups is you also on a journey, right? These are very journeying cards. These are the cards of sort of the almost like you're the initiate, like you moved through the initiation process and now you're on the path as the initiated, going towards this sort of main issue to deal with today and one of the main ones to deal with this week, like that climactic scene, right? And I think that you are integrating these things beautifully. You're doing the work, right? You're doing the work. This tells me that you're doing the shadow work, and that's what's helping you to be able to hear this call. So this reading, the entirety of this reading may just be a confirmation that you're on the right path, and that the world is Saturn energy. So this Saturnian energy is about you. Sort of, there's a discipline to this, and it is, it's like doing the work, right? It's doing the work. I think that you're doing the work that isn't, the sexiest. People may not really like to do that work. They may shy away from it, but you're diving headfirst into it. And there's ways that you've doubted yourself, but trust me, my friend, there is so much light in this. This is the Sun card, which is the Leo card in fifth house. Fifth house energy is like fun, joy. It's it's a beautiful and enlivening, invigorating is the word I was looking for, invigorating energy, right? That gives you so much light to you. And I think that you're realizing the light is coming from within you, right? The light is coming from within you, and this process is allowing you to shine outside of you. This can sometimes just be little things that we encounter, right? This whole process that's laid out here can sometimes just be little issues or things that we encounter that put us into these places of questioning ourselves. And it's really just intended to prepare us for these bigger moments where we do doubt ourselves, where we do go into this Nine of Swords energy in our head. And then we remember that we have a choice. We can choose love or fear, right? That's the message today, is like, are we going to choose love or are we going to choose fear? Which one? And the Temperance card at the top here is the Sagittarian energy of ninth house and Jupiter. And this, to me, reads like this is something that you are remembering about life. And the World card here, right? Remembering about life and looking, I get the feeling that you're reflecting a little bit. On how your life has, not like big picture, how your life has gone necessarily, but what is it that you're believing about the everyday that's possible? Do you believe it's possible to go around the day in 80 worlds, right? 80 worlds. And I think of 80 worlds in terms of your anxiety. your anxiety about whether or not it's working out, your fear about whether or not it's working out. We do create these different worlds, right? We create these parallel universes for ourselves mentally, and then we have choices as to whether we're going to live there or not. But I think that you're coming into a place of balance and perspective where you see this. The presence of the Sun card here, it sort of tells me that what may not have been visible in an eclipse, like what is hidden in the eclipse, is something that's coming to the full light of day, right? In ancient times, and ancient just even meaning like our ancient ancestors would often think of eclipses as apocalyptic because the sun was the source of all life, right? That's the sustaining feature of this planet, is what makes it livable is the sun. So for the sun to disappear, it was this apocalyptic event. So they tracked, in many places it was agriculturally speaking, and then the depth of agriculture integrated into spiritual practice became a spiritual practice where it was honoring the life and death of the sun in its eclipse forms. And I think that that's sort of maybe something that you're dealing with as well in your own life, is looking at these deaths and rebirths that you're going through. But I think it's important to know that like the sun is it's out again, right? It's out again. What may have felt hidden from you is not so anymore, at least I get the impression. I'm going to clarify this here, the World card and the Eight of Pentacles. Spirit, can you please give me some clarifying messages for my daily creatives for April 19th, please, and thank you so much. Eight of Pentacles on the Eight of Pentacles. That's been happening a lot. Hermit card. That was out yesterday, actually. I think that there's wisdom in the work. That's, very much like yesterday. That's how you're shining the light. Right? That's how you're shining the light. And this is also you shining the light for others. And I can't help but see this as well, right? The light that you're shining. And I feel like this light is calling you almost. It's calling you. You were born for this. And this doesn't have to mean like one type of work that you do forevermore. This may also be for this you were born. This is possibly also a call to a way of being and seeing the world. 22 is a master number as well. So that's something to keep in mind if you are interested or so inclined to look at numerology. But I think the Hermit is here to say this is helping you to shine your light. Let it be in service to that. The High Priestess, counterpart to the Hermit card, but also your deep knowing about this choice and the worry that you've been taking on about this, balancing, needing to balance it, and feeling a bit disconnected from your intuition, because that's what anxiety does, right? Fear or love, which one are we going to choose? Intuition is always the better choice. I think that what you're hiding, perhaps from yourself a little bit, is this inclination towards lack and feeling like you've been left out, because the times when we're most anxious are the times that we really can't hear our intuition, right? It's always good to quiet yourself, not be in distracting environments in order to hear your intuition. But sometimes there's a mental chatter that it sort of passes off as productivity or constructive operations or things like that. And this Five of Pentacles in the Moon are saying that this is not something that's hidden from you necessarily, but maybe that you don't want to see, but that you perhaps through the Libra full moon you couldn't unsee them, right? You couldn't unsee these patterns. And I think it's more a pattern as opposed to like something that has been hidden from you or things like that. It's nothing nefarious. I get the impression that this is largely internal processes. Eight of Swords, as if to emphasize the point, internal processes. On the Four of Swords and Two of Pentacles. So I'm getting the impression, my darling daily creatives, that there's a way that you're really pushing through. The world is here again. So I think that this confirms for me that this is the cycle here, right? This imbalance. You're healing it and you're resting, but don't get too caught up in your head, right? Eight of Swords is the precursor to the Nine of Swords, which is truly the up at night worrying card. That's like the ultimate worry card. And I think that there's nothing to worry about because the Saturn card here is saying that you're doing the work. So just breathe, relax. Four of Swords it. Just cool it and cool it. Just cool it. Cool your jets when it comes to being caught up in the fear energy, right? You're doing the work. you're doing the work, and it's hard when you have the Eight of Pentacles twice, we have the World twice. You're doing the shadow work, and I think that even if you feel like you're in your head or disconnected, it's sort of attuning to the call, right? The High Priestess is here as well. You're attuning to the call. When we get in touch with radio dials, I'm thinking about radio dials here. When we're like turning the radio dial, I'm aging myself now because now it's just a button, and if it's not a button, then it's just like a sensor that you push. So, sorry, my chair's a little bit off here. So with a radio dial, you turn it in my day. I don't know. I think that you still can in some cars, but you turn the radio dial to a specific frequency. And in order to find the station that you want, you have to go through these different ones that sound a whole lot like static. And I almost feel like that's where you're getting confused, and you're seeing like this is the static, right? Like this is the static of the radio stations that you're trying to find on the way to that. Like this is to me like a Three of Wands, and you're the fourth wand in this equation. So it's like on the way to attuning to the call and being in touch with your intuition and your place of love, your space of love, the High Priestess. What you're doing is actually connecting to all of this excess, this extraneous kind of noise that's kind of pulling you off path a little bit and making you question whether or not you were actually meant to do this. So do stay connected to that love. Again, the world is here to say, even if you doubt yourself for that half second, but don't let it become something that consumes you, right? We all have moments of doubt. To do so is to be human. To do so is to be human. The Eight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. One more here. Okay. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles on the Two of Pentacles. So I think that this is, to me, this is emphasis that you're coming into balance. Yeah. There's something that you're picking up from this. I almost get that this is old habits die hard kind of thing. The Hierophant to me in this instance is representing the old way of doing things or institutional way of doing things. This can be with like something that becomes like indoctrination in a way that doesn't, that emphasizes dogma over like dogmatism, like adherence to strict rules as opposed to letting things flow. So I think releasing yourself from this old habits die hard mentality and truly letting them go, right? Like letting them go, releasing them. Yeah, releasing them. 10 of Wands. Release the burden. End the cycle. Tens are cycles that come to ends. And that's release it. Let them die hard. Don't just make jokes about it at the water cooler, right? 7 of Pentacles. Yeah. Old habits. It has taken a long time, my daily creatives, but this is on the way. And I think it's important that you know that. 6 of Cups. Yeah, there's an innocence to this. You're returning to that state of innocence. Could be to do with some past patterns. 6 of Cups is a card that is associated with the past. So this could be related to past patterns. This could be related to someone from the past who returns around or on thereabouts April 30th with the Eclipse card and the Knight card together. The Knight cards tend to represent suitors or potential partners, but they can also represent people, right? They're considered a court card. So this could be someone around that time making a return, not in a way that is going to throw you back into this 10 of Wands, but kind of in this like peeking in energy, right? This is you in the King energy, kind of looking out at what you've created and what you're making for yourself. And the page is kind of, I almost get it as like, I have this image of like an old news person, like the little, they used to hire like boys to do this. I don't know why, but to, shout the news from stands to sell the papers, right? And I almost feel like you're like people are looking in because they want to shout what you're up to. And it might be worth kind of understanding that you're tuning to a new radio dial and that's a station that you may just have to kind of tune out going forward in order to pay most attention to what's important to you. Yeah, there's going to be different things that you can choose through this little, through this little transition period we're in this week. That bridge, like building that bridge, right? As you're crossing it, there's going to be a lot of things, 7 of Cups, that catch your attention. But you're aware of what's most important. And I'm almost getting, you're unafraid of investing that energy in a way that you see fit. The light just went out. Yeah. 8 of Cups. Yeah, leaving it behind. You know what you want to invest in now. And the Five of Wands was on the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're understanding your emotional investments now more than you did before. It's almost like there were ways that you couldn't really pay attention to what you were investing in, love or fear. But I think that you're really starting to invest in things that are, I'm hearing developmental as opposed to detrimental, right? Developmental. They're helping to build foundations on things that didn't exist there before. And that's truly beautiful energy for you, my daily creatives, especially with the way that this is all shifting and changing, right? And I think the big choice for today is, and the big reminder for today is, am I going to choose love or fear? Which one am I choosing with this action, with this belief, with this insistence, with this pattern? Is it in my highest good? Sometimes fear teaches us things, so we choose it inadvertently, and then it returns to us as a very important lesson. It returns to us as wisdom. It returns to us as the hermit, right? So there's wisdom in the fear that was, but I think this is a call to make a choice more towards love, even if it seems like the slowest option at first, right? Even if it seems like the slowest option at first. I'm going to pull from the Miracles Now deck by Gabrielle Bernstein. Thank you so much, Spirit. Dissolve all boundaries with love. Yeah, this is really about love and fear, right? Which one are we choosing? Boundaries represent fear in a way because we're using these patterns, these burdens to construct barriers between us, ourselves, and others, separating us and deceiving us into this idea of separation when there isn't any, right? So dissolve all barriers or all boundaries with love. Dissolve all boundaries with love. And I think being in that loving place is going to help you understand your own need for the way that, boundaries in the way that you deal with others, right? Detaching in healthy ways so that we can come together in a communion, not in a sort of codependent connection, right? I begin my day with love. Lots of love here. I think, again, the focus is on fear or love, and that's just emphasized by these two cards. I begin my day with love. Dissolve all boundaries with love. It's almost like that Rumi quote, going to all the love is about going to the places within you where you've built up against it. It's the removal of the blocks to love that bring it in. This is the Notes from the Universe on Love and Connection deck by Mike Dooley. I'm going to pull some from here just to kind of cap off the messages for today, for April 19th. Once again, happy Taurus season. All right, Spirit, what have you got for my daily creatives? This one? Okay. 1. You were born with that it quality. A lot of that purpose aspect of things, like this is what you're born for. You've got time. Take it slow. Absolutely. You've got time. This Knight of Pentacles energy, this slow moving energy that we started with, right? Don't doubt it. Lean into it. So, ever wonder what would make life's fleeting pain and sorrow totally and unquestionably worth it? How about living forever, wildly in love and loved wildly? You have so much to look forward to, the universe. And it's almost like this parallel life here, like you're seeing the infinity of where you are. You're seeing this infinitude within you that comes with the sense of oneness, where if you're connected to everything, time doesn't exist quite the same. So when I was thinking about around the day in 80 worlds, yeah, like there's, it's just something to think about. So you were born with that it quality. Further to the point of you were born for this you were born, right? Remembering that sometimes we come here with gifts that we cultivate. Sometimes we feel like they're, people say, oh my gosh, you're so gifted. And we're like, thanks, it was an interest and I cultivated that. So it can disconnect us from what is true and what is true about us and the gifts that we have. So resisting the urge to sort of push away gifts that you have in the name of imposter syndrome or things like that. Resist that urge. You were born with that it quality. Do you want to know what's really beautiful? Confidence. Do you want to know what's really powerful? Persistence. Do you want to know what's really sexy? Please, I know about sexy. Not needing to be needed. And still, if still they don't notice your good looks, your strength, and your sachet, could you feel more sorry for them? This is to me really about understanding that there's a lot of self-doubt that can kind of play in this Nine of Swords, right? Doubt. Are we going to choose fear or love? You were born with that it quality is really a call to continue to choose love. Even if it takes time, let it take time, right? I think about some of the best meals that I've had, and I will tell you that they probably did not cook for very long, or they did not get taken off of the stovetop after very long. Like it took time, right? I'm thinking about making one of my favorite things to cook is a coconut curry, and I like making the onions with it, and like then you put the spices in there, and it just gets this really rich flavor that you can smell, and you let the chicken absorb the flavor from the seasonings, and that really adds to the flavor. It takes extra time. You can't do it very quickly. It's got to be a slow process so you don't burn the spices. But wow, does it ever impact the flavor? And I feel like that's sort of what's happening. You're simmering. Let yourself simmer. Let the flavor come through in the pace that you're at, in the space that you're at. So that is your daily creative reading, my wonderful collective, my creative collective. So for this here, if this resonated for you, please do like and subscribe. It helps me to grow the channel, and I really love doing this, and I appreciate your time so very much. So thank you for it. And there are other opportunities and ways to connect throughout the month and week on the channel, so do check those out. If this is where we part, though, my daily creatives, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day ahead of you. Take care. Bye.